So Tricia, as we're here together talking about festivals, we should really say that they are strange beasts because they take ages to prepare and then they suddenly come to life for one day, 1 week or 1 month, and then they're gone again until the next cycle. And we talked in the Flex sessions about how this can lead quite easily to transactional exchanges between presenters and artists, with some festivals just still booking ready-made productions as a given, so booking products, essentially, getting the artists to arrive, perform, and then leave. And would love to get your insights now on how festivals can move towards a more collaborative approach and what it may take to invest year-round in relationships.
Yeah, sure. I've certainly done or taken each of those approaches depending on the project that I've worked on over the years, and I think there's a few things: being gracious, giving, grateful, outside of when your partners are doing something for you. So just really actively supporting the other projects and other works that your partners are involved with. I think that making sure that you are, it comes back again, as it will time and time again, about being equitably paid for the time and energy that you put into a project. So not just paying for the programming, but creating space for there to be opportunities for creation itself. And I've learned so much about the importance of the creative process itself and allowing it to flow. Commissioning a piece to be part of a larger project, whether it's a multi-artist project or a festival, you need to allow those who are creating to explore what their own connection is to the project, and then how all of those connections are coming back together. Hydra, for instance, we did a pilot version of this. This is a project that's been underway for a few years now, and because we were so limited to how we could present the work that we were creating in building this, we had an opportunity to have a few different art installations built. Some of them were collaborative in nature. Some of them were artists who said, hey, I have this installation I think would be really fitting with the project that you're doing. Could we be incorporated into that? And trying it out and testing it out. And so it allows the artists we're working with to, I guess, play around and experiment with different materials, different concepts, being able to see, how they can take that grand idea and bring it to fruition and get a sense of, oh, we don't have enough time. It's usually a lot of time in the amount that you've allotted for these pieces to be created. So this has been such a monumental lesson for me, is to just allow that space. So allowing this extra year is what we did for artists to finish pieces that they had started during that pilot run, and then also having the call to artists for new ones, new installations, to be a part of it. But it's really just exploring those connections and having the time for that. So I think it's important to have that built into your budget, that creation phase. And I know some of the other festivals that I work with, while I'm not on the programming end of that and doing marketing and whatnot, I am witnessing how much they're investing into creation of pieces. It could be a really experimental theater piece, or even just like a form, like boundary pushing dance multimedia circus piece, and you don't know what that's going to look like until you go through the process of creation. So really honoring that, I think, is important. Also to listen. And that's been another big lesson. I used to be so stuck on that end product. So now when we're co-creating, it's listening to the people I work with, because having a vision for something is wonderful, but it's not always going to look like that as your final piece. And I'm speaking with choreographers who feel the same way. You get into it and you realize this person's body moves a certain way, and then maybe you're going to shift this, and so it's going to look you know, green instead of purple by the end of the day. So it's really important for me personally to take the time to listen to the artists and creators I'm working with, to allow their knowledge and their vision to guide the piece. I might have, as a curator and an artistic producer and a creative myself, I might have this vision, this overarching thing that I want to present to the world, but I want their influence. I want their energy mixing with mine and my partners in Calliope, and I've seen where that common piece can go together, and it just, it creates magic. So yeah, allowing for some of the funding to be for the creation process, not just hiring or buying a finished piece and kind of having this formula, this template that you're trying to put, you know, pieces into. I think of that game that we played when we were kids, where like really little, where you have to fit the triangle in the triangle hole and the circle in the circle hole, like when you're a toddler. It's a little bit like that when putting together a multi-arts show. And I don't want to do that anymore. I want to try to build the structure around the pieces and allow that to be a little more fluid. And then, like you had mentioned, with being through the year, I think it's making sure that you're engaging with them through the year. So you're building a relationship, you're investing your time and energy into them, and you expect them to return so much. So yeah, not just during the window of time for that project. And I think in terms of, we work with community a lot, and having artists work with community members to create certain elements of our shows. And I think it's important to be an active member of the community. And I believe I mentioned it earlier, just supporting the other initiatives that are being taken by the people you're working on with your own project. And even within, you know, our own collective, Josh and Emberly have other projects on the side, and it's making sure that we're carving out space for them to invest in those projects, but also for all three of us to go out into the community and connect with other things that are happening and seeing how we can show our support. Emberly, for example, is our community outreach community engagement coordinator, and she's involved with some of the water keeping and water protection initiatives, and going and doing workshops at things that have nothing to do with us, but we do share a common goal and a common vision with Hydra. So I think that integration into the community and collaborating with others who are doing sharing the same values, I guess, is really important. Yeah, I think those are a few ways to approach collaboration throughout the year, just brokering those relationships.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Tricia, because everything that you're coming back to is time, taking the time to get to know each other, to build trust, the time of creation, which is not compressible. Actually, if we really want to honor, you know, what we are creating with art and what it can do in our world, and what we're doing now is to take the time to unfold your processes, your insights, and to really understand how the sector can move towards these slowed down approaches that we talked so much about during the great pause, but that's we are now already forgetting to snap back into fast and product led. So thank you again for taking that time for that coffee break. Thanks, Tricia.